On today's episode of Growing Pains, we're joined by Yannick, a Maltese professional footballer who's recently taken his talents to the US playing for club Lexington. He'll speak to us about his experience so far, life in the US, and how it compares to Malta. Check it out. Shana, Yannick.
Hey.
Shana, brother.
All right. How's it going, bro?
It's good.
How are you finding Malta? Are you here on the festive break?
Yeah, I'm here on, it's the off season for me because in America they do it differently. So the off season is in November and December. So
Okay.
I had this month break back in Malta. And
So
it
when
was
do you
nice.
start again?
I actually go back next Tuesday.
Okay.
I start on January 15. We start preseason. And I think the first game of the league is first week of March.
Okay. So you have some time.
Yeah.
And you're living in Kentucky at the moment, right?
Kentucky, Lexington,
How's
Kentucky.
life there?
It's different.
I can imagine.
Definitely different, much more quiet. Culturally, there are some differences. Here, we're kind of used to the beach. We're used to the sun. We're used to the architecture. And there is kind of like everything kind of looks the same. And there's not like much to do. But in a way, that's good because you get to really just focus on football
guess.
and your career. So it's a whole different experience. But
Fair enough. Do you
I'm
like
taking
it
it
there,
stride.
though?
like is a strong word.
You don't love it.
Nah, yeah, I don't love it, but I don't mind it either. I
Okay.
mean, I've met some really good people there. And I think that really makes the place sometimes. It's not really the place, it's the people, right? So
Definitely.
from that, I can't really complain.
Yeah, and you were there during the election, I'd imagine, right? Because it's your second year.
Oh my
now.
God.
I'm
Yes.
entering my second season, yeah.
How was that? Are they're
America
Trump
seems
there, right?
crazy during the election. I can't imagine being there.
Yeah, it is interesting seeing, like, I went to, before I came to Malta, I went to Miami.
Okay.
Spent like a week there, and you
Wow,
see on
Miami.
Damn.
Yeah, and it's literally how you see in the movies. Literally.
Yes,
if you watch
yes.
Scarface, like
It's
yeah,
actually like that.
Literally, yeah,
Ma.
that was actually really fun. But you drive by like the really fancy houses, and everyone has like the signs on their front lawn, like either Trump or
Malta.
Kamala.
Okay.
So it's like either Trump or Harris, and everyone's like kind of signaling which side they're on. So
It's literally
yeah.
How is that a good idea? Like, you're just signaling to people if you want to egg a house, like, come to my house.
but
kind of
also
thing.
people, it depends, I guess.
I think these guys
It's
were
a
like
very
in rich neighborhoods.
It's a
so-
neighborhood where most of them support Trump, and you put a Trump thing in front of your house, and people would love you.
You
eh?
get their respect in that sense as well.
Definitely.
What did you see? Anything particularly crazy during the election?
I'm not gonna lie, not really.
Okay.
It was more.
I think on the media it seems crazier than
Yeah,
it
they
is.
definitely
I'd
make it
assume
look
so,
like.
at least.
Yeah, they make it look like that. But the fun part was actually like being in the same time zone when like the debates happened.
Nice.
And I remember me in my room watching the Biden and Trump debate,
Oh
and just
my
being like,
God.
and just being like, I thought we had problems in Malta. Like these are the leaders of the world, and you see Biden just like.
That debate was insane. I
Crazy.
remember watching it, and I couldn't
It
believe
was
what
insane
I was watching.
when they started talking about golf and I will beat you, and
Like,
he's like
what
struggling
the
to
heck?
speak. I'm like, someone get him out of here, bro.
I can.
Yeah, I actually really felt bad because it was, yeah, they put him out there to
Who
die,
let him
basically.
go there?
Hey, who let bro
Yeah.
cook?
And-
You probably saw crazier things in the Maltese elections, low key. I've seen shit in Malta during the
Yeah.
elections.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, here it's smaller, everything's condensed.
So
like you're gonna
here the thing
bump
is,
into
everyone
people.
knows everyone. So I feel like
Yeah, and
it's
it
more
is
of that.
polarized. I think I wasn't in the most like polarized place because it's
Okay.
kind of a red state, so it's you kind of get one side of it. But here, definitely, you're just gonna bump into people, and we're so like, how do
Yeah.
you say, like everyone has their side and becomes almost animalistic.
Yeah.
So
What
the people-
about the? Sorry,
Oh,
you want to go ahead?
I'm enough.
rock paper
I
scissors,
feel
guys.
like it's gentlemanly to let you go.
Oh, well. I was going to ask, are the people
2025.
nice in Kentucky?
I was gonna ask the exact same question.
No way!
I was gonna say, like, obviously in Malta, we're Mediterranean, so we're those kind of people that if we're sat at this table and there's a birthday on that table and they start singing happy birthday, we're gonna start singing happy
Yeah.
birthday. If you see someone, you know, you're gonna buy them a coffee.
Imma
you're gonna buy them
ssiper
a drink.
ġellida.
Is-siper ġellida, ovvjament kullimkien ukoll, we're passionate as Mediterranean people,
Yeah.
but we're very friendly.
Yes.
No matter where you go, you know someone. Obviously, it's a big culture shock in America, but like, how are the people? Do you mix well with them? Do you get along with them?
Definitely different in that sense that you mentioned that we're so like passionate. We talk with our hands. We're so like, if we notice something, we're gonna like talk and like be spontaneous. And there's a bit, I found it a bit more colder, the people, but it's more like until you get to know them.
Okay.
So there's definitely some, how do you say,
Resistance, like a cold front,
like a bit
almost.
like where I was living, like didn't get to know like the neighbors like until like my 6th month there.
Okay.
Whereas I would think that in Malta or somewhere else, you kind of like, if you see people more than twice, you're best friends basically. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So there's definitely that, and there's also like a kind of, not to bring this up like earlier than we expected, but there's definitely like more racial tension. I
Okay.
feel like here obviously like there is racism, but there it's like so deep rooted because of the slavery and stuff like that. You actually like it's palpable, you know.
That's true.
So it's actually, you feel it in the street. So
Uh-huh. Tell us about that. In the sense of how much of an issue, in inverted commas, is it for you on a day-to-day basis?
I mean, I got called a nigga on the first week I was there.
It's true.
just put,
My face.
just put a curveball in there.
It's true. In fact, I was going to ask you, when's the first time you realized this?
Yeah, that was pretty much the first week. But I wouldn't say on a day-to-day basis you feel it, because it's kind of like, you know, it's always the small minority like making all the noise. And that kind of ruins it for everyone
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
But I think it's definitely more, especially since everyone has guns. It's sort
It's
of like,
scary.
yes, especially like when you know people think like that, and you kind of like, you walk in somewhere and you're like, what if this person like is having a bad day and thinks the way they think,
It's
and like
scary,
they just
man.
want to like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So you're definitely more on edge in that
You have to
aspect.
bite your tongue a lot.
I feel
in
like you
that
need to be
sense.
really careful living
Yeah,
there. Like
I
in
mean-
general, that to be fair, that's one of the reasons why like I'm particularly like I wouldn't really move to America, and I feel like that's one of the main reasons why. Because I feel
mean,
like
I
I'd be
think it
scared.
depends
I feel like
where
if I'm
you
drunk and I
are.
say the wrong thing,
Hey.
man off. Maybe I'm
Boom.
exaggerating, but you know what I mean. Jill,
Uh-huh.
toħroġ
No,
li-
it's definitely intimidating, the fact that you can just carry firearm. Now, obviously, with respect to people that believe you should carry a firearm, there's the argument of self-defense, and it's
Yes,
clearly
of course,
very
there are
important
defense.
in places where there's a lot of crime and stuff like that. But obviously, I'm going to speak to you differently if I know you have a gun in your pocket.
Yes,
You know what I
it
mean?
definitely sort of makes you think twice before you enter an argument.
Yeah.
Because you just don't know what the other person is thinking, you know. So, yeah, I've had some experiences like that. Like even, I went to watch an NBA game, and we were in Indianapolis.
Okay.
Sorry, the names are kind of weird. But afterwards, we're just walking in the streets, me and my friends, and we're just like asking people like, where should we go? You know, let's find a bar or something, you know, chill. There's a lot of people. And we asked this random guy, and he's like, I'm going to do my best like American accent, but he's like, fuck do I know, nigga? Like what? And he's like clutching his waist.
Oh,
like,
no, man.
And we're just like, we just kept walking, but it's like, catch a person on the wrong
Hey,
day.
man. Hey.
like girl.
Yeah, and trying to, you know, over what, you know? It's like, over what are you trying to almost...
And how does that like, because obviously I'm sure you're bright enough and smart enough to notice that perhaps that person has a significant lack of education, but how does it feel? Obviously, I've never been through something like that. I've never been...
And
I
how
mean,
do you
just
even
keep
react to
walking.
that? Especially the first time it happened. I'm pretty sure you must have been caught off guard if it was on your
It's
first week.
obviously a bit like, but I was like with other Americans. So they kind of like, for them, it's kind of normal. It's
Yes.
regular.
Yeah.
So you just keep walking and don't engage, to be honest. It's kind of like when you see someone drunk trying to fight.
Yeah.
If you're in Malta, you're kind of like, okay, just
Yeah.
keep
yeah.
it moving, you know?
Uh-huh. And what about in football? Obviously, you had a piece, I forgot where I saw it, but where you spoke about racism in football in Malta. Obviously, from opponents and both fans alike,
Yeah.
we know that there are certain bloody primitive rituals that the fans like to partake in to
Yeah.
get to your head. You witnessed it in Malta. How is it in comparison in the US?
I didn't really see that much of it like on the pitch, to be
Good.
honest. I can't tell you one instance where I felt someone was like that. I feel they're
That's
much
good.
harsher there. I think it's much more sensitive. So I just really didn't. So far, I didn't catch anything like
Good.
that on the pitch. So
Good. More in real life, unfortunately.
yeah, real life, yeah, all gloves are off, I guess. But
Yeah.
on the pitch, not really.
Good. It lets you do your job.
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
a
It's
bit
fine.
a bit more peacefully. Let's talk about how you got to the States. You look at the typical maybe trajectory of footballer careers in
Most
Malta.
people go to Europe, right?
So we've got,
Yeah.
for
And I don't know
example, yes,
much
yes.
about football as much as you do.
No,
but
facts. I mean, we have players that play in Australia because they've got dual citizenships.
Yeah.
We've got a player who plays for Brescia at the moment. He has a dual citizenship.
guy?
Yeah, 26. He's a forward. His name
alright,
escapes me right now.
Okay.
But obviously,
I know who
Basil
you're talking
Teuma
about.
plays in the UK.
Yeah.
Gulli plays in Poland. You've gone to the States. What was that decision like, and how did it come about?
Honestly, it was just kind of like the opportunity presented itself. So I was like, why not? The United States always like interested me as a place. So especially like when you think about it, they speak English. The culture, we kind of know it from the media and all that stuff. So it was a bit of a safe bet as well. But yeah, it just came about that, funny enough, I had a teammate that used to play with me in Army.
Okay.
So this
Okay,
is
early days.
like 8 years ago,
Yeah.
7 years ago now. But we always stayed in contact. And he actually like played in Lexington
Oh, wow.
the year before.
Yes.
And we were just talking, and I'm like, yeah, bro, like I'm interested just to move out of the country. You're talking like we're friends, right?
Yeah,
I'm not
of
talking.
course.
And he's like, yeah, bro, I have some contacts here. Like, let me speak to the coach here. I know that they have like a good setup. And he spoke to the coach and actually the sporting director. And the sporting director is English. And the new coach that they just brought in last year was English as well.
Okay.
And when they mentioned my name, they had just watched the England versus
England,
Malta game.
Of
Ilalo.
course.
And he's like, wait, isn't that guy like that we just saw play in Wembley and we had a good performance and stuff
Yeah.
like that? So as soon as they made that
Lalo, how
connection,
good.
then after that,
That's what it's all about, man. Moments like that where
Moments.
that
where
must
people,
have felt so good for you. at the
literally.
time.
You're talking about the game or like the talk?
All of it, like sort of knowing that that game led
Literally.
to this, knowing that
because
Definitely.
I guess that's it, right? In Malta,
That was
you,
your
you
first
don't
impression to
really
them.
have so
Definitely.
many eyes on you until you're playing for the national team and you're
Yeah.
playing against players like Sandro Tonali, Declan Rice, and all
Yeah,
those guys.
who are some of the
It's
biggest
definitely a
players
trip.
you've played against?
I think name anyone on the England or Italian team. So I mean, Rashford, Foden, Tonali,
Wow.
said Donnarumma. And it is a trip because I made my full debut against Italy at home. And the week before, I was still with Bikr Kara, so we played Mosta. So in my head, I'm in the tunnel, right? And obviously, you have your game face on. I'm focused. I'm like, this is my full debut. I have to be 100% focused. But I did have a split moment where you're in the tunnel and you just look to the side, and you're like, wait,
Okay.
that's
This isn't
Donnarumma.
Mosta.
That's Donnarumma. Like, why is no one freaking? I'm like, oh, I'm gonna play. Like, yo, lock in. Like, don't fanboy.
That's crazy.
But yeah.
You're a Milan fan. If I saw Donnarumma, bro,
And Tonali.
no, I would have kissed Tonali on the face. I would have spat in Donnarumma's face, unfortunately.
Yeah,
So
literally.
he left on a
It
free.
was crazy. I have a crazy photo actually with Donnarumma. Like, it was after a corner and he like hugged me. Like, this is on my Instagram. And
good.
it's actually crazy because obviously I told you I'm a Milan fan as well. So
Yeah.
But in that moment you're not really thinking.
No,
like,
I mean
da-da.
it's
but then
game face
after,
on,
it's sort of thinking back on it,
Yeah.
it must feel surreal.
Did you manage to
Yeah,
get a
it
shirt
was.
swap?
Italy, no, because that was my full debut. So I
You
wanted
keep
to
your
keep my
shirt,
shirt.
of course.
But I got against England. I got Grealish.
Okay,
at the
nice,
time.
Lalo.
nice.
And when we went to Wembley, I kept my shirt, but I wanted Palmer's.
Okay,
And it was his debut, and that was before Palmer's. Like now, he's like one of the
Yeah.
best players in the
Cold
world.
Palmer.
But it was like I actually had a drug test. And it was me, Pepe, Maltese team, Gallagher and Palmer. And I was like, bro, like, can I get a shirt? Like after, and he's like, yeah. But then he got done before me, and it just didn't happen.
What a shame.
But yeah, that would have been a good one. But yeah,
At least
I
you
keep
had the
most of my
interaction.
shirts.
At least you, like,
Yeah.
you know that he would.
But I
have.
like keeping my shirts because, you know, it says like Wembley on it versus
Yeah.
England, the date. Yeah, I think that's priceless. You know, I wouldn't swap
Do you
that.
keep them somewhere special or something?
Yeah, I have that in my room. In my
Okay.
room, my mom's place. They're like all. Oh my god, I hit the mic again.
That's
Sorry.
okay. Don't worry.
Yeah, they're all like hanging there, and with any medals or anything else,
Must
any
be so
memorabilia.
I recently found out about a ritual that there is in the Maltese national team where you have to shave your head when you make your debut. And we've seen people with gorgeous hair shave their head. We've
I
seen
didn't know about
Satariano.
this. Yes.
Satariano has the fullest, the best head of hair I've seen in Maltese football history. And I was surprised because the first time I saw him, he was rocking that crew cut. Did you shave yours? I don't remember.
Yes, I did, and I had
my
a
God.
head full of dreads.
Yes.
At the time.
Oh, what a fucking
Yeah,
shame.
and literally.
Do you have a photo of the before and after?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you
yeah, I
need
got
to send those to us.
Yeah, I'll definitely send you a few. But because it's actually not when you make your debut, but when you first get called up into like the squad. So
Okay.
I was lucky enough that I didn't play.
Mm.
when I
Okay.
got called up the first time, so I wasn't. My first picture with Malta's not me with a buzz cut, you
Okay.
know. But yeah, I did go through that, and then when I eventually played, I didn't need to do that. So I was kind of obviously I wanted to play, but that
Yeah.
kind of worked out a bit as well.
Yeah. You also scored against North Macedonia. That's a memory I remember quite fondly. We lost 2-1, I believe, that game. What was that feeling like?
Yeah, that was
North Macedonia are no joke, by the way. They're a tough team.
Yeah, that was crazy. It was a scrappy goal for sure, but we take anything at that level for sure. Yeah, honestly, it was a trip because I think I came in the game like in the 75th minute, 2-0 down, and yeah, everything just happened so quick. And afterwards, you're just kind of like, did that really happen? And you see your phone, and everyone's like blowing you up, like.
Yeah.
And then again, but it was
You're
kind of
him,
like.
at
Yeah,
that
that's
moment, you're
No
fucking
shit,
him.
man.
Yeah, it was fun. It was definitely a dream come true. But then it was like in 3 days we're playing Italy, so your
Okay.
head like you don't want to celebrate too
You're on
much.
high, but then you need to focus.
Yeah, because then I'm like I know all eyes are on me, so
Yeah,
then I
such
don't
is
want
life,
to.
huh? Like it's crazy how it's way different when you watch a game live in a stadium versus when you're watching it on
I
TV.
can imagine.
When you watch a game on TV, the goal, it's like this whole spectacle that takes 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and you're celebrating it, watching the replay.
Mm-hmm.
How's the game going to change? You're discussing. When you watch a game live, the goal happens
And
1
then
minute
it's done.
later, like not even a minute later.
you're
You're
back on
back,
it.
and you have to forget about it, like,
Mm-hmm.
Back
and
on
just
it.
move on.
Definitely.
Especially if you have another game so close afterwards.
Yeah.
The stakes are almost higher because there's more pressure on you. I can
Yeah,
imagine. So.
definitely. Plus, you're still in the game right then, so you can't like in the moment we're losing. So I didn't even celebrate. I just got the ball and went back to start the game, and you're just thinking, okay, let's get the second one now.
Yeah.
Because honestly, we can. Obviously, the top teams in Europe there are levels, but anything below that, I feel that we can definitely compete and get points and win. So at that moment, I'm thinking, let's get the second goal. Obviously, in
Exactly.
your head, you're still like, wait, did that really happen? But then you have to switch on again.
No, and I think there is potential with the Maltese national team, which I want to discuss, and I want to get back to the Maltese national team. But what I'm really intrigued by is what is the level of football like with Lexington and in the USL League One in comparison to Malta?
I think the level, I always say this, like the attacking players that I've seen in America and technical ability, just a higher level, honestly, because we get players from South America, Africa, United States, obviously. And I've seen some players with crazy technical ability and as well, like crazy backgrounds. Like I've had teammates that play with Chelsea, teammates that play with Inter Miami, teammates that been all over the world. So there are definitely levels. The thing that I would compare with Malta is definitely defensively, since we're like more Italian and more tactical.
Yeah.
That's something that I felt that that league didn't have as much in America.
Okay.
It's more like
Scrappier.
score as much as possible,
Yeah.
and then we'll worry about the defense later.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but now I'm going to championship, so I'm anticipating that that's going to be a bit different. But yeah, my experience in League One was yeah, attacking wise top, but then defensively Malta, and the European game is more how do you say?
Tactical, so to
Yeah,
say.
yeah, much more.
Cautious, defensive.
Yeah.
I guess it's this thing for the casual spectator. It's like the more goals, the better. No, we just
Yeah,
want to see.
definitely.
And I guess America is very entertainment centric.
For sure.
As opposed to obviously Malta and Italy, which is very much like you get coaches like Antonio Conte. That's like before we score for every goal we score, like we can't concede 10 kind
Literally.
of approach.
What's your plan there now, sort of after the season? Do you plan on sort of staying there? What do you
Kind of depends what happens. Like,
Be careful, your coaches are watching. Yeah.
hi coach. No, but definitely for me it's just having the best season possible. I just want to look back and say like I had an unbelievable season, and then everything sort of falls into place after that. It's my last year of contract there as well, so it's kind of like if you have a good season, then you have more options. So I mean, if it's staying there, if it's getting offers to come back to Europe, if it's MLS, whatever the case may be, that's sort of something you think about like after the season's done, and then you can show for it, you know.
I'm sure you had opportunities in Europe before you went to Lexington, right?
Yeah, I mean there were some. We had some links maybe to go to Italy, Serie C at the time, but they just never came to fruition.
Okay.
Especially when you play national team, that's when it's sort of like your name comes, gets out there. So after that, there were some opportunities, but yeah, just the American one sort of like really became concrete. So I ended up there.
Oh, well, it's an experience both as a footballer and obviously as a man as well. I mean, we're the same age, so I commend you for taking a step like that, going to the US and taking
And
a
it
big
must
step.
feel so cool being able to do football full time. I feel like that's something that here in Malta isn't really
I
possible.
don't think. I
is
think
it?
probably Mick Colley, when he moved to Malta, managed to do it full time on a contract from McDonald's. I think otherwise, I don't think they're really full time.
That stage was actually crazy. That's it when we were bringing like mad players to Malta.
Man.
Like remember when Ronaldinho was linked? I was actually
Bro,
at Baker Car at the time.
Bro, you were. And there's currently. Why does his name escape me? Now his name escapes me. The goalkeeper.
You can
He
check
was
if
at
you want.
Lazio, bro.
That's went to Hamro Marchetti.
He went to Marchetti. Bravo. I wanted to, whatever, I won't talk about my podcast here. I wanted to bring him on, but he doesn't speak English very
Plug your
well.
podcast, bro. Come on.
Growing pains. It's all about growing pains, guys. But I assume you could do football, soccer, full time in America,
You don't
right?
like it when they call it soccer.
Nah, I don't like it's football. But they have their own football there, which is
Yeah.
also fun. It's
So over
actually
there,
nice.
it's soccer.
Yeah.
I know, I hate
Yucky.
it. I hate it. That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't roll off the tongue.
But full time, what is a day in the life of a professional full-time footballer look like?
So definitely there, it's I wake up. We always have training in the morning, so wake up anywhere between 7 and 8. Go to training.
Quite early.
We have breakfast there at the facility. You have your breakfast, have your coffee.
Is the
then-
food good there?
Oh my God! Don't get me started about the food.
Okay, we can talk about
Don't
that.
get me started
Because
about
I've heard
But
food.
you get fed like a lab rat when you play football.
No,
It's
the
like,
food that the chefs at the club make is great. Is great. They actually do a really good job about because we have different cultures.
Okay.
So sometimes they make
I see.
Jamaican style food. Sometimes
that's
they
good.
make African plantain and
That's
jollof
cool.
rice. Sometimes they make
That's fun.
American style mac and cheese. But they do mix and it's really dope. Shout out OG the chef. He's
Maltese
top.
is next on the menu, I've heard.
Yeah,
OG.
Maltese. I'm gonna get you some pastizzi. and-
Arun.
That's
yeah,
that. Ah,
literally.
good carbs before a game.
Literally. So yeah, but then it's sort of like outside of life, it is a bit. Oh, sorry, I'm deviating because you asked me about the day in the life, no?
Day in the
No,
life, yeah.
but
So
it's
you
okay.
wake
I'm
up,
going on the food
It's
now.
true.
breakfast,
Sorry,
fine.
I deviated. I asked, but I was just so
I'm going off a
interested.
tangent.
breakfast at the
So
facility.
yeah, breakfast. Then we drive to the training grounds, have our training. That's usually from 10 to 12:30 if you want to do some extra stuff, extra drills. That's also a nice part because it's our training pitch, so you can stay there as long as
Nice.
you want. Then afterwards, go back, have lunch, have any before training, we have team meeting, just
Okay.
talking about what we're going to do at training and maybe some stuff about the game and tactics. After the training, again, maybe you have an extra meeting about the next game, what we're going to do, all that stuff. You're going to have lunch and then any extras you want to do sort of like with the physio or yeah, stuff like that you need, ice baths, sauna, go to the gym. And it depends the day because then you might have like a mandatory gym session with the whole team. So my day kind of looks like from 8 till 2 I'm back home, or like 8 till 4 if I have an extra gym session. And then after that it's chill. Yeah, it's like sort of like I go home, nap usually because I'm tired. I'm not a morning person at all, so I'll be ready to sleep. And then it's just chill, be in my room, watch TV, PlayStation, UFC.
Sounds so chill.
Hey,
like
man,
that.
it's, correct me if I'm wrong, man, but I always thought that being a professional footballer until retirement, it's pretty much like being at a training camp or a living with the boys forever. Is it the case?
I mean, yeah, that's actually the fun part about
Yeah.
it, because when you actually look back, you miss like the locker room vibes, you know, with the
Yeah.
boys. So that's a really big part of it. But then for the most part, when you're away, it's kind of like, you know, you gotta take care of your body. You gotta take care anything you need to do, like
What you
in
do
life,
in the afternoon affects the next morning. of course.
especially. So you just kind of chill for the most part, like, you know, not trying to get yourself in any trouble.
Yeah.
Stuff
And I
like
guess
that,
in
so.
Kentucky there isn't much to do either, so you can't
There
really...
isn't much. There isn't much. The thing is, where I'm at, it's not the biggest city, but sometimes because they have the big college there, is the University of Kentucky, and that's like a big college for like basketball players and like American
Nice, okay.
football players. So sometimes when
parties.
it's their season, you go watch a game. It's actually great because they're in college and like getting 60,000 people going
Oh,
to watch their
wow.
game.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's
But college in
different.
America, I feel
I
like it's so
always
different.
found
Like
that
that's so.
bizarre.
It's
I
insane.
could never sort of understand what it must be like in America,
it's
going to
insane.
university
You
or
watching,
college.
man, like you go watch college football and there's the next prodigy playing in front
Literally.
of you. You get the same thing with basketball. At some point, that's where LeBron
Crazy.
James was.
And
or
even just
LeBron
how
James's
life
son.
is there at college, like the frat party, like everything
it's
about
different, bro.
A lot of
being a
college
student
like,
in America.
I
So
remember,
different.
Yeah, I went to braid my hair once at this lady's house, and a guy walked in. He was after me, and then we just started talking, and he's like, "Yeah, bro, I play football for Kentucky, whatever." And he's like, "Yeah, next year I think I'll go to the NFL, whatever." And I'm like,
Why are you chill?
He's just chilling about it, but for them it's like regular, you know. That's like the pipeline. Like if you're good at sports, there you're set.
Yeah, man.
I'm like, I wish I was you. I wish I had your opportunities, man. That's
In Malta, it's different.
That's
Hey, shout out to the
crazy.
schools that are doing it right, like MCS, that are coming through
Yeah,
now,
facts,
properly
facts.
training
It is
people.
changing,
I
I
used to
think.
I went to a private school, one of the top ones. I had in Form 5 or Form 4, I forget which one, we had PE once every 2 weeks, bro.
That's
That
sick.
used to alternate with art. I used to skive art all the time, but I just used to chill out and watch the others play
Fuck
football.
that, man.
But PE, well, thankfully I used to play like football, and I was quite
why?
active
PE
on the
was
side of it.
only football, to be honest.
PE, we used to play cricket, we used to play football, basketball, which is hilarious because it's just a bunch of 5'8" Maltese people. I bet you I'll be able to dunk next year, like all
Yeah.
5'8" of us.
Literally.
It's weird. I don't feel like they played us very much to our strengths.
I remember being in university studying and like almost getting kicked out because I have training during lessons or I have to go abroad with the national team.
Wow.
They're like, if you miss this, we're gonna kick
the
you out.
hell,
And it's
man?
like,
Yeah.
it's really tough to do both, you know. So
Yeah.
I mean, I hope it's changing now, but yeah, it's definitely tough to do
I feel
both
like it
here.
is changing, but very slowly.
Very slowly. But
Very slowly.
we
But it is. We can't say it's not. So yeah, I feel
Exact.
like it
No,
is.
and I guess it's better now than
Yes,
20 years
definitely,
down the
definitely,
line. It's a
definitely.
starting point. At the end of the day, man, we're a 27-kilometer long island who's
Yeah.
been independent since 1967. We're
Yes,
figuring shit out
yes.
and we're taking it as it goes.
That's true.
Before you move on, you're going to mention the food. I'm still caught up about
Okay.
that.
She put a pin there. She wants to hear
Because
about it.
I heard that food in America is quite shit. I want to know if that's true or not.
The restaurants, you can find really good restaurants, but when it comes to groceries,
The ingredients.
this is disgusting.
Yeah.
Honestly, I had a really hard time in the beginning.
That's true.
Like everything's like super sweet or super processed. Like I remember buying almond milk, thinking like I'm doing something, and that's just it was literally like a milkshake. Like I was like, nah, no way. Like people put this in their cereal and stuff like that. I'm still a bit weary about like the meat and stuff and like chicken. Like I don't buy chicken in America because I'm scared that they put like stuff in it.
The amount of now I watch a lot of combat sports. The amount of tainted supplements that they find in
Yeah.
your bloodstream, like you'd be getting tested. You would have never taken a performance enhancer or anything in your life. No steroids, nothing. Then they take your blood work, and they're like
Yes,
there are really
yeah.
low traces of increased, for example, testosterone, which is artificial, and
Yeah.
you'd get banned for like a
Oh my
year. You
God.
appeal it,
Yep.
and then they'll go through like what you've consumed in the past like 2 weeks leading up to the test, and they'd find the supplier of the steak that you
horrendous,
bought
man.
from this place, and they'd find that obviously nowadays a cow goes from a calf to a fully grown fucking cow in like a month, dog. It's crazy,
Literally.
and it's because they're fucking giving them
I've
steroids.
heard of this
You
shit,
ta- you-
man.
you eat
Even
steak
simply
and you're
just
taking
scrolling on
steroids.
TikTok as in I didn't really
Yeah.
do my research, but you know what I mean. I've heard of this shit. That's why I was so
Literally,
curious.
no. So I buy my stuff from like a fresh marketplace.
Nice.
More expensive, obviously.
But at least
but
you're
yeah.
a
But you
bit
got
more
that
aware of
Lexington
what you're
cash.
consuming.
Shit, this is gonna run out. Nah, but it's good. It's not good, but you try to make the most. Because we're
Teranja.
also spoiled. I kind of realized that
Well,
food in Malta's insane.
Yes, we're very lucky.
So when I came
That's
back-
true. I don't appreciate it as much as I should.
I came back and stocked up on the carbonaras
Yeah,
and
lemon.
amatricianas. Like, I've been on a pasta.
I made a matriciana
Bro, man,
yesterday. It slapped
I
the
spent
strap.
Oh my God,
last year I
that's crazy.
spent 2 months in Australia. Firstly, everywhere is self-service. And every restaurant has a fitted carpet, which is disgusting.
I don't like
want to be.
fitted
I mean, you're
carpets.
eating. It's like you're
Isn't
eating
it
in a
hot?
casino, bro. Like, what the
Yucky.
fuck is that?
The
It's
amount
very
of
hot.
dirt must be.
And it's just
Yucky.
there's no service, man. Like there's no good morning. How are you? Do you like this? Do you like that? This is my recommendation. It's just like fucking. This is the menu.
Yeah,
Take it
do
or
it
leave
yourself.
it. You pick your plate up from there. That's like every day you really start to miss home, man.
Yeah.
And
Did you
really,
find like a sense of community like when you went to Australia, or was it like lacking?
So it was really lacking. Thankfully, we had like a group of friends, a friend group in the area we were in, which was in north of Oka, which was good because we could just hang out with them. But every commute to go to like central Sydney and stuff like that was like 2.5 hours going, 2.5
That's a
hours
problem
coming.
with Australia.
So if you want any kind of human connection, if you want to go to a bar where there are like-minded people your age, buy them drinks, they buy you drinks and shit like that, you have to sacrifice 5-hour minimum of traveling to go there and come back.
U aħna neqirdu biex immorru l-melliħa ta'
Exactly,
drive.
20-minute drive to Melliha
telling
from
you.
Bricker Car.
Tiva.
Like,
Honestly, like after America, I do not complain at all. Like I go to the gym in Monte Cristo,
okay.
and that's like I live in St. Paul's Bay, so it's like 20 minutes. far.
For Malta, is it?
Far.
And that's the thing. Now I speak to my friends, and they're like, I wouldn't go there. I live in Medellin, it's so far. It's like 30 minutes. I'm like, bro, if you want to do anything in America, it's like an hour and a
Exact.
half. I'm like, that. This is nothing.
Yeah.
This is nothing. I'm
No,
driving like crazy. My
definitely-
gas prices have went to the
Yeah.
roof.
Yeah,
No,
I
we
can
definitely
imagine.
take Malta to forgot. Obviously, we have a lot of bad things.
Yeah, but
But you know what? I'm
everywhere.
ignorant enough to do this and just live
Yes.
life happily in Malta, man. I'm ignorant enough to cover my
Ignorance
ears.
is bliss
Whatever's
sometimes.
happening on the news, whatever.
Then it's
like,
good to stay aware and know what's good and what's not, but at the same
Oh, yeah,
time,
but
there's
it's
only so
also
much you can
fucking
do. Like,
dolce far friggin' niente, man. Like sometimes ignorance is bliss. You just
Yes,
have
exactly.
to live your life.
Yeah.
Because I know we're quite tight for time, and last time I stopped you when you were talking about the Maltese national team. You've recently broken into the squad over there, right? What was it, like 2 years ago? You broke into the team.
Yeah, something like that.
Of course, the previous coach that Malta were finding success under, who was Devis Manja, was kicked out of the team and he was done for improper conduct. There were very, very serious allegations being made by certain team members about sexual harassment, sexual assault, but the way it came out, it was confirmed that there was improper conduct. You joined the team, the official squad. Just after that, what was the vibe like in the camp from the players? Obviously, you know them, you would have trained with them from a young age. What were they like? It must be traumatizing, to say the least, man.
I mean, it was kind of a period of transition. Like no one kind of knew where we were going because, with all that being said, obviously there are some really serious allegations, but the results and the team looked good on the pitch. So it was kind of like a mixed sort of bag.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, you don't want to pry too much, and it's sort of like everyone's kind of dealing with it in their own way. And we're all there to sort of play football, so you don't really just sit down and like discuss about it and think. You're just there to do your job, and that's kind of it. So especially then when the new coach came in, you're kind of focused on his ideas and what he wants to do and the games ahead. So it's kind of like, let whoever has to deal with it, and we have to still go on the pitch and perform.
Yeah. So it's a fast-paced enough environment to be able to like look forward and always just kind of
that's
focus.
crazy.
yeah,
Because the allegations are very serious.
They're
So sort
serious,
of
For sure, but
kind of dismissing them like
Yeah.
that. Is
no,
just-
it's not dismissing,
Uh-huh,
but it's
but-
sort of like respecting like everyone's sort of like space sort of thing.
Yeah.
And obviously you have discussions with teammates and this, that, and whatever, but you kind of like at the end of the day, it's kind of like, get on with it.
Yeah.
So you were aware of it happening sort of before it all came
No,
out? in
no,
the
no,
news
no.
and stuff?
I wasn't even in the squad when the
but
initial
since you
thing
have
happened,
friends
because I
there,
was kind of
maybe.
in and out of it, and I think I heard it with everyone else that when he
Okay.
got fired and
Okay.
then all this stuff came out. So I wasn't part of because I was in his time. I would be with the squad, but I wouldn't play. So I was kind of in and out of the 20,
As a-
the 30 man like sort of squad. So I wasn't like a integral part of the group at that
Got it.
point. I was kind of the new guy
Yeah.
still. So I kind of heard it with everyone else. So
Obviously, separate to that, just to leave the improper conduct discussion just over there. The team has been improving. I feel like the team improved a lot under Manja, but I think that foundation has really. Like it feels like the players have carried on that hard work, that integrity, that seriousness of playing football. Tactically, the team looks really sound as well. I think you've been a good addition as well. You bring some fucking balls to midfield, which I really enjoy seeing, man.
that. No, I think what really was a shift, and I think it's also something to do with like my generation of like, I'm 97, I'm old as fuck. But we kind of believe that we can play against anybody.
Yeah.
And
That's a good mentality
that we
to
can
have.
play football as well. And also when you go you play against Italy, you play against England, and you have decent performances, that kind of tells you like, okay, I can go play with no disrespect, but we can go play against these other teams and get away with a result. You know what I mean? So I think that's sort of the big shift in my time and this group of players, like 97s, 98s, 96s, that we actually believe we can go on the pitch and win.
Nice.
So
That's great, man.
I think that's like a real shift that's happening.
For
So,
sure. I mean, I'm gone are them days where whenever we play a top team, it's a 5-4-1 formation.
No, definitely. We actually get angry when we're not able like to play the ball. So we try our best to you know, you want to win, but you want to do it in a nice way as well, like in a good way. And we try our best. Obviously, sometimes we don't manage. Like I remember when we played Italy away. They had like ran rings around us, so it's not always gonna work. But then you see our performance when we played at home, or even in the Nations League, we had some really good performances.
Oh, we were close. If it weren't for another game screwed us over because of a last-minute goal.
Literally. So just goes to show that we can compete with anyone, man.
Yeah. What about the fans in Malta? Is it frustrating when, and at times, of course, I'm guilty when it comes to this as well. I go watch Malta when they're playing England. I go watch Malta when they're playing Italy. I go watch them when they're playing the top teams. But sometimes in a game against the Faroe Islands, when it's the time you probably need the supporters the most, and it's a low turnout, unfortunately. What is your plea to the Maltese people to like kind of come support you guys?
Well, I think honestly, it's just like you kind of said that. You kind of hit on the head, because when Italy is in town, when England is in town, they come to see England. They don't come to see us. So that's sort of what shows when then the Faroe Islands come and then there's a low turnout.
Yeah.
I think it's just, you know, not really a plea, but it's like we need your support in every game. You know what I mean? So it's kind of disheartening when you see low support in these games, because you get the message. But at the same time, I think it's sort of like a cycle. So if you get good results, then the fans will start coming out. The more fans come out, the more you get good results. So it's kind of like you have to start with one of them. So I think also if we give them something to believe in, they'll start coming out more. So we're obviously trying, and now there's the World Cup qualifiers, which is really exciting. So, and also I think we got a good draw with the teams there, and we can have some good results. So it's all about believing in your team, believing in your country, because we're a small nation, but there's a lot of talent on this island.
There really is a lot of talent, and as you said, it's
talent.
all about mindset as well. You just need to believe. We can't keep telling ourselves that since it's a small country we can't make it. It's just
we
fucking
have
go
a
and do
brilliant
it,
episode about this with Chris Mercia of Happy Pot, where it's like everyone's scared to kind of take that next step in Malta because everyone's judging. You play football, you have your rap as well, so you're one of those that didn't.
It's also comfortable. So it's not easy to leave that comfort. When you go outside, you kind of realize,
everyone's just a bit scared, which is normal. It's normal to be scared, but then it's nice to get out of your comfort zone and
just to
actually
go and take that leap, you know.
Yeah. Well, brother, good luck for the World Cup qualifiers. Good luck for your
for the season.
Final season at Lexington. It will be your final contracted season at Lexington. And I look forward to seeing you next time you're back, brother.
Thank you for having me. It was really great. Really great conversation. Man. Keep doing what you're doing, guys. It was great.
Thank you very much, brother. Cheers.
Amazing.
Brilliant.